Hi. um, I want to make a video about not body positivity, body image and self-esteem. They do not go hand in hand. They're two separate things. And with this body positivity and fat activism and fat acceptance movements that are gaining momentum among social media, I wanted to come out and discuss about reasons why they're so resistant toward other people, and perhaps they're the loudest about their opinions. And one of the things I was trying to think of as far as growing up, because I had the same struggles they did. Okay, same struggles. Like, I got fat shamed, I got rejected, I didn't always fit into certain situations because of my size. I didn't always, obviously, I didn't fit into the clothes I wanted to. Like, I had the same struggles, but the difference being is I don't go on social media and be like, you guys are fat phobic. Like, there's a difference. And I didn't really take my health seriously and for like weight loss and whatnot until my health started declining. So, um, in retrospect, I wish I would have done it sooner, but I didn't take myself seriously. And I wanted to discuss self-esteem. Now, I wrote this down. So part one, what we really think of ourselves. Um, First of all, despite the movements gaining momentum amongst social media and whatnot, especially on social media where it's image-based platforms, but I wanted to go over the screenshots that I took just yesterday. Actually, these are all just yesterday's screenshots of a group I'm on. And of course, I'm not going to reveal any names, but these are people admitting things on there. And I generally kept it to like their feelings. So if they talked about something private but not negative, I leave it alone. So it says, I'm really struggling because I want to date, but the guys I like aren't attracted to me. So I'm not even going to go into a whole of that because that's just her struggle. But obviously, she's struggling with her weight. This is a weight loss group, but this is one of the things she's struggling with. And I think she's young, so obviously that's one of those things that she cares about. Another one, I don't think I'm going to be happy with my body when I reach my goal weight because I'll still have boobs, but also a belly. And if I lose more, I'll still have the little pooch and less boobs. Any advice? So again, she's not helping with herself, but wants people to give her advice about that. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying these are screenshots of people who don't like themselves, who obviously have body image and self-esteem issues. Um, this is a vulnerable post. It's taken me a while to get the confidence to share this. I really need some insight. I'm discouraged. I've been eating better. Watching the scale change has been so motivating. My comparison photo is so discouraging. I think I'm going to review about that post. Um, but she's talking about, I don't see the progress. I don't see the instant difference and contrast between before I became different in my lifestyle now, and it's frustrating. I get it. It's frustrating. It is frustrating for me right now. But that's just her. Another one. I've been doing really good today, but I super want to eat. I'm not hungry, but I feel unpleasant emotions, a bit of boredom, sadness, and uneasiness. And obviously that's emotional eating and boredom eating, which I was pretty heavy on. Still kind of am. Sorry to say. Um, so that's just one of the ways that they cope with emotions. I know we're supposed to stay positive, but I'm having a hard time. My biggest problem is my own mind. I hate myself. I constantly beat myself up because I ate the wrong thing. I'm busting out of my jeans, blah, blah. Okay. Basically, she's disgusted with herself and can't fit into clothes, and she knows it's because of her choices. She's just beating herself up. Again, that's another self-esteem issue. Hello everyone, I'm looking for advice how to lose at least 20 pounds. I have a round face, so no matter how much exercise I do, I look chubby. Any tips to slim my face? Also, what do you girls do to not turn to eating when feeling down? That's another one. So I'm just going to stop there because it could totally go on. But um, that becomes issues. Obviously, it's still going on regardless of the body positivity movement and all that stuff. Like, they're not happy with themselves, and it doesn't sound like it's really from society standpoint, but more of I'm unhealthy and I feel it, and it's a feeling of the. And honestly, I think it happens during PMS. So yay womanhood. Okay. um but what I'd like to point out is social media versus reality. When I became addicted to the internet many years ago, back in like the 2000s, about 20 years ago, there became this false sense of community. And I say false because it was never real. It wasn't substantial. They weren't there for me when my dad died. They weren't there for me in my biggest life changes. They were they were just a place I hid, and the place I chose to be hidden from the real world. And so when I looked back up my journals from years ago, apparently I found some, and most of it had nothing to do with my diet or how much I hated my body or how I didn't fit into clothes. 90% of it was about an online relationship, like legit being on an online relationship. But also in my early 20s, showing my age, in my early 20s, a lot of it became, oh, look at them posting that on Facebook. I wish I had a happy life like them. Or look how happy they are. Oh, look, they have another romantic interest. I mean, it was constantly being posted on social media how, look how great my life is. And I tried to stop that. I mean, at first I was taken by it. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish my life was that happy. I don't want to post anything because I'm not that happy like they are. But in reality, apparently, there is a falsehood of this is what I put on for my social media page, but that was one take out of the whole day, and it's not reality. It's just what they want you to see. So when I say social media versus reality, obviously you have Photoshop, Instagram fake versus reality kind of thing. You get those comparisons. It is the same thing. So what you're seeing somebody else's life being online or through social media, whether it be videos or Instagram photos or Facebook photos or the before and afters, um, there's not always reality to it. It's what they want you to see. It's like, let's put my best self forward. And besides the fact, you know how many selfies I take before I finally find one I want to post on Facebook or one that I want to update my profile photo with? I'm talking probably 10 to 20 different photos just for one to put on Facebook. And that's mine. I'm admitting to that. Hello, I'm guilty of that. But social media and reality are two different things. And we sometimes get so caught up in social media, what's behind this screen here. Like, what like we get so brave sitting behind this screen and portraying our best self and playing the role and acting the part just for the benefit of those on the other end who may be watching it or seeing it. And so I just want to put out there that that could create a false sense of self-esteem and confidence that isn't there in real life. So when I look at these people that are fat acceptance or fat activists, I'm just going to focus on that because the body positivity thing does have a healthy message, but I feel like it's just gone toxic in that direction of fat activism. And I feel like they're putting that self forward for this movement, and it's getting so wildfire on social media That's why it became popular. They get to hide behind a screen. They get to put their best self forward. They get to work on their editing skills and photoshopping skills. And how many takes did they do in that bikini or crop top before they finally posted one on there? And TikTok might be a different story, but then again, TikTok is also a platform for cringe 101, and that's not a lie. I just gonna be very honest with you. I can't go on TikTok. I tried again to open up that account, and I literally didn't last very long. It lasted maybe less than an hour before I went back and uninstalled it. And I was like, this is it. I'm not doing it again, because it's just a waste of time for me. And besides the fact, regardless of what I put on my interest, there was always at least a couple cringy videos I didn't want to see. And I was like, why subject myself to that? So I let go of that. So then the second one, the other thing I wanted to discuss after social media and reality is the comparison game. It used to be called Keeping Up with the Joneses, but now popularity of the Kardashians, it's Keeping Up with the Kardashians, unfortunately. And that actually has become a thing. I want to look like this person and idolizing these people and um, all that stuff. And it's like you want to get that perfect body and the ideal, what's attractive. And it's so toxic. I feel bad for people who fall into that. Like, I'm obviously not perfect, but I'm not going to go out there and spend thousands of dollars that apparently I don't have for body image issues. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Like I said, their body image and self-esteem are two different things, but we'll get there. So anyway, it does become a comparison game to where you look at the life that people you like or the life you want and people are portraying on Facebook or Instagram or any kind of social media, and you're like, I want that. And then through the comparison game, you become depressed, and then you end up having low self-esteem. And I do feel like those screenshots I went through, I'm sorry if you watch this and I used one of yours, but I kept your identity completely secret. I didn't reveal anything intimate at all. These are just regular, common things that women think about themselves that I felt I was there and then still am kind of way. So I can't. If you want to talk to me about it, go ahead. But if not, then thank you. um, but the comparison game is really toxic. Like, I can't compare myself to those people that are weight loss. I can't compare myself to Tess Holiday because guess what? My body don't look like that, even on a good day. Okay? Like, I don't have that confidence. I don't, like, obviously I can't do my makeup exactly like her. I don't wear the clothes that she wears. I don't have the Instagram life that she has. Like, I just don't have that. And I understand that's not my life, so I accept that. Yeah, I actually do think she's pretty in the face. Sorry, she's got a really pretty face, but she works really hard at that. And the comparison game oftentimes makes you feel like you don't measure up, and it adds to the feelings of inadequacy. And I'm talking like this is fact. And you could be like, no, that's not true. Yes. You turn off your computer, you turn out the lights before you go to bed, and that is exactly 100% true. What do you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror before you step in that shower? Like, what do you feel? Do you feel disgust? Do you feel like, oh, I don't want to do that? And the whole body positivity, fat acceptance thing, they're like, I love my rolls. I want to be fat. Go ahead. Good. Then show it to other people, because I feel like as soon as you want to accept your body as you become mean to other people, and that's just ugly regardless. Like, so what if you think you're beautiful? You're really portraying that you're ugly when you were actually beautiful before. So that's my opinion. But the comparison game can often be pretty toxic for your self-esteem and your self-image, especially with the social media versus reality. Now, part two is, of course, self-esteem and body image. Okay. I want I want you who are watching this to think about what shapes your views about beauty. And as much as the fat acceptance movement wants to be like, society does, it's a patriarchy, you're getting caught up in the patriarchy and you're getting brainwashed and all this stuff. As much as I understand that plays a significant role, you do live in society. You're not living on a commune away from all this influences. You are part of that life. You have to learn how to navigate through it. So while there are things that you are more susceptible to being influenced on, it's just science, really. There's other things that you do have the right to make a preference. Sorry, that's a trigger word for some of you fat acceptance people. But I wrote down things that, for me, growing up, influenced my ideals of beauty. And of course, number one was pornography, um, gossipy magazines, commercials, reality TV, dating apps, social media, Hollywood, like movies and films and whatnot, celebrity lifestyles, fashion, and retail. Those are what has influenced me about beauty standards. And then I'm not saying all of this was negative. I learned a few things from social media, fashion, magazines, commercials. I have learned something. I've learned some things on pornography too. But anyway, that's a whole nother issue. But then, aside from, if you can identify what shaped your views, like what did you grow up enjoying and what did you grow up looking at to make you think that was beautiful? Just think about that, because apparently y'all about critical thinking here. And the second thing is, what think about things that make you feel special, loved, beautiful, amazing, desired, worthy, and valued. These are all nice positive words, by the way. Body positivity. But what in your life made you feel special? If it's your family, if it's your husband, focus on that. Just know there are people who can make you feel special. Feeling loved, beautiful, amazing, desired, worthy, and valued. I mean, if you're gonna blame society in that doesn't make you feel any of this stuff, and you're like, I don't want to go out in society, like you're a horrible person. Like you are gonna be an unhappy person regardless of what you put on your Instagram. If you hate the world and society, what you're putting on Instagram is a big fat lie. So, why I asked that question, and I want you to ask it for yourselves, is most of the time what made me feel special is, yes, close friends and family and God. My relationship with God is what made me feel all those things, no matter where I was in my life, no matter what my body looked like, no matter what weight I was, no matter how I felt about myself. It was God that made me feel all that. And because I chose an outside source that I feel is more reliable than myself, I'm never disappointed. I'm not looking for comparisons online or people to like me or put likes on my new profile picture. I mean, it is nice, but I don't validate myself through any of that. If somebody doesn't like my picture, if my friends don't like my picture, if my friends don't comment on my pictures or my post, I'm not disappointed. It's my life. They don't have to like my life. Who cares? So just once you identify what shapes your views, try to think about the things that make you feel all those special things. Like what made you feel more loved? Focus on those things and maybe become those things for somebody else so that they also feel loved instead of being like, you're fat phobic. How dare you? You're a Nazi. Let's cancel them. Let's ruin their lives. Like some of the things I hear that's going on social media are truly horrible. Horrible. Okay. Anyway, so part three, are you enough? And this is pretty much showing your age here. Sorry, TikTok. Not sorry. This is how you cope with rejection, feelings of inadequacy, and failure. When you don't meet up to standards, not just society standards, but health standards or your own standards for what you feel is beautiful, then you have to deal with that. That's your choice. You have to be like, okay, if I can't fit into these jeans, do I ask the company to make a bigger jeans? I could try to learn how to make bigger jeans myself, or I could actually work hard, lose the weight, and earn that. And it feels a lot better. It feels more rewarding to work hard for a reward than it is to be handed the reward. And then that TikTok sense of entitlement that's going on, that's what's going on, is you think you're going to be handed these rewards and you feel like you've earned it when just by existing, and that's not true. You need to earn the rewards in order to gain the benefits of the hard work, and that's called perseverance and character. And a lot of you TikTokers are showing that you don't have any of that. And it's not your image that makes you look ugly, it's your lack of hard work ethic that makes you look ugly. um I have a few things to share as far as like the Bible studies that I have been doing about body image, because the main culprit behind this movement is how you feel about yourself. And I think they just did a switch to be like, you know what, I'm tired of caring about what society cares about, and it's causing me so much self-esteem issues, and I'm tired of hating myself, so I'm just not. And I get how you want to flip a switch and you're just done with it, because I've been there. Okay, regardless if I'm not on that movement, I've been there. Okay, so I'm going to share a few things. This is just two excerpts that I, let's see, wrong one. Two excerpts or two Bible studies that I felt marks this really well. And the first part is, how is your confidence in fitting rooms? What do you say when you talk to yourself? How are you building your confidence? How do you feel when you see your selfie? Notice these are all things that are done alone, by yourself, without other people. Okay, without all the responses and posts on Facebook. Okay. One study says 90, I don't even know where these studies are. You can look them up, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty close. One study says 91% of women say they're unhappy with their bodies. And I shared just a few posts from yesterday that is true. By the time we're age 10, 80% of us are afraid of being overweight. I was overweight when I was 10, so I don't think I was ever afraid of that. But nowadays, yes. We're collectively asking, am I enough? Do I have what it takes? Am I beautiful? We look for validation from others. Yes, you do. All the while, God is kindly repeating his answers. He is saying, I love you deeply, I value you highly, and I planned for you carefully. Why that's not enough for some people, I don't know. The other one that I thought was interesting that goes well with this is, we have to learn to be honest first. Honest, the opposite of what social media is, with ourselves and then with God. So it starts with, I need to change. I got to make some good changes. I got to just do the little things to help me out. And then it's like, okay, God, what do you want? I'm not going to blame social media, but you are so much more than your best filtered photo. Amen to that, because I've been wanting to tell people that. If your heart and mind aren't good, a pretty post won't fix it. That image isn't the real you. And those little hearts and thumbs ups are not an accurate measure or validation of who you are. So, I thought those were actually really perfect for this video. And I second that. Call amen to that. That what you put on Facebook, what you put on Instagram, what even you put on TikTok, because I know all of you, before you push record on that TikTok, you definitely have your hair done did, your face done did, your clothes done did. You definitely portray an image, and that's particularly not the real you. Like, you want to put forth an image online to make yourself feel better, to make yourself feel important, to supposedly influence others, but really you're not that in real life. And that's what I think, just the fakeness and also the plasticness of it. And the self-esteem and body image thing, I understand based on just the list that I made for myself that society did shape how I felt about myself and how I shaped that. But when I became a Christian, again, that question, what makes you feel special, loved, beautiful, amazing, desired, worthy, and valued? And that answer for me was always God. And when I choose outside sources, not myself, not other people, it became apparent that that was a lot more satisfying to me than trying to find validation through relationships, which throughout my journaling, I didn't journal very often, but when I did, it literally obsessed around relationships, about making this long distance relationship work, thinking I have to sacrifice things just in order for a guy to stay with me. And I was under so much false thinking about that oftentimes I was failing to see, well, am I feeling loved? Am I feeling beautiful? Am I feeling even adequate for this? And if I'm not, why am I continuing here? And what are they doing? And what am I doing? And oftentimes that you're not asking yourself the right question. You're obviously ignoring the real issues in your life, and you're pointing your finger at everybody else but you. But the one thing that really matters is if you shut off this computer and or you shut off your phone and you look yourself in the mirror, are you going to say the same things? Are you really going to say the same things? Or are you really going to be bold and say things that you wouldn't normally say to people to their face because you're behind a screen? It's not different. It's just become more apparent. It's just become more prevalent in this day and age. So, number one, if you're struggling with your self esteem and body image, aside from the whole body positivity movement, you are enough. And sometimes you're more than enough. To say. But most of this has to do with how you can cope with rejection, feelings of inadequacy, and failure, because you are human and you will fail. And what you do with that failure, with how you don't meet standards, whether it be society standards, whether it be governmental standards, whether it be health standards, you have to cope with that in a healthy manner. And that means taking responsibility for yourself. When I got diagnosed with diabetes, do you think I was like, oh, well, the corporations, they made me addicted to sugar? No, I didn't do any of that. I chose to eat. I chose to binge. I chose to use food as means of coping and as means to self-soothe and self-medicate and eat my feelings and eat out of boredom. And I chose to do that. I chose to. Like, I'm not blaming society on that. So, like, these activists are trying to attack. And the funny thing is I was watching this documentary, which I'm not even gonna go into, but the documentary had a lot of, he really wanted to talk to these activists, saying, okay, well, I want to know, like, they're so powerful about their message. I want to really get into this. He was very curious. Like, just really, I want to sit down and I want you to tell me. And I was feeling like you guys are missing the most best opportunity ever. This thin person wants to hear your story. And that was what you're complaining about, is they often don't hear you because you're fat. And then obviously he's giving you a microphone and you would rather just walk out. Like, what? You want to be vicious, you want to be toxic, you want to be negative. Oh, okay. You want to be the butthole of society. Okay, sure. Yeah, let's make all fat people look like assholes. Well, anyway, I felt he did that uh, documentary very well. There's other documentaries that I feel like are very well too. I've watched more than one of them, and I gotta say, I have to change the way I think about diet and food again. The first time is because I'm diabetic, and now this time it's because, well, fat isn't bad. And I don't mean like being fat. I meant eating fat isn't bad. So again, try not to confuse that. But again, you are enough and you are valued. And God wants you to feel like you are worthy no matter what your size. And if you, I think the best thing, my advice for you is to stop reading comments on your pictures. Like, stop with listening to the trolls. Because, and I say trolls because these people are legit wanting to instigate the negative feelings and bring out the bad in you. And they want to instigate a reaction from their comments. They get off on that. They totally, that is what they live for. And if you give them that power, if you respond to them, if you even give them the littlest bit of attention, you are giving them that power. So don't give into it. Understand it is what it is and move on. Like, don't even give it one big a deal. But also, don't be so caught up in social media. I have to say, the social media thing, 100% is what's going on with you. If you shut off social media, as in, how about not going on your Instagram or your Facebook or your TikTok? How about not going on any of that? How about having face to face instead, even with masks? Like, how about that? And I guarantee you, if you've done it even for 5 days, yeah, you might go through withdrawals, but if you're going to be less likely to hate yourself. Anyway, that's a whole nother video. And I'm sure everybody have done that. They've covered that in spades. So that is my take on body image and self-esteem. And because this whole body positivity thing is giving people literally the wrong messages. And I'm not saying because if you don't have faith in God, you're not going to have a good self-esteem. I'm saying you got to pay attention to what you're listening to. And it seems counterproductive to be like, society is the one that's making you like that, but yet you've created your own society and made that kind of environment. It's kind of twofold here. So it's kind of like, it'd be like us Christians saying, "Oh gosh, you can't eat with sinners," but then you live in a world with sinners. It's like you have to deal with it. It's like people with food addictions. Well, you're going to be around food the rest of your life. So does that mean you don't go around food anymore? Well, obviously not. You have to cope with it. You just have to cope with it, and that, well, the whole eating disorder thing is a thing too. I can agree that you can have an eating disorder no matter your size. Disorders usually happen in the brain, the way you think, your relationship with food. It has nothing to do with your weight. I think it has everything to do with how you relate to food. So, and that can often be just your relationship with how you feel about food. So I don't think you have to be skinny to be anorexic, and I don't think you have to be fat to have a binge eating disorder. Just, I think that that's just how you, it depends on your relationship with food. So, I've been kind of putting this off because I've been watching a lot of YouTube, putting on more content, and most recently I've been doing watching a lot of documentaries, and just obviously, like, how have I been so blind this whole time? So that should be another video, but I hope I helped, and I hope that if you did listen to this, I am happy you did. Thanks for clicking on the video. I'm going to say like everybody else does. I don't want to feel like everybody else, but hit subscribe if you like my videos. Okay. Yay, production. I don't know anything. I don't know nothing. Know nothing. Okay. Thank you for watching.